it's definitely frustrating, when, you have drives going and, it's mistakes that you make on your side, on our side of the ball, that we can control, pre-snap penalties, the false starts, you know, those type of things. But on the positive side of that, it's it's not a talent thing. It's things within ourselves and within the unit that that we just need to clean up and be cleaner on and be more detailed in the operation. And when we clean those things up, I see us being on top of these type of games.
Cam, it's been a while since we've spoken with you. You've started the season, you got injured, you were out for a little bit, and then you came back. What's that process been like for you? How frustrating has it been for you? And what kind of, do you feel 100% now going in when you went into this week's game?
Yeah, I mean, I feel 100%, just approaching the week, like I wasn't starter even, when I was banged up, or I wasn't, the guy going in to start the game, just keeping a level head and just knowing that controlling the things that I can control. And, it's not my decision for me to be the starters. It's my job to come in, prepared and ready to go whenever my number's called. And, that's all I try to do is just come in with a positive mindset and a positive attitude and just attacking every day.
Dominate in number of plays, dominate in time of possession, and get bogged down in the red zone, third downs. What do you associate those struggles with?
Like I said, just self-inflicted wounds, just whether it's a misassignment, whether it's a penalty against us, just lack of detail in the operation that that comes down with me with getting us in and out of the huddle, having clear communication with all the 10 other guys on the field. And I think when we clean those mistakes up, that we'll be able to punch in the end zone and complete drives.
Do you feel like during practice, during the week, that those things are being corrected and it just doesn't show itself?
I feel like they are. It's just being able to be the calm in the storm and being able to handle adversity, and just putting it all together. And when you have all 11 guys on the field doing their job, including me, that's when you have successful plays that turn into successful drives.
Another tough loss.
I think that's one thing you don't have to question. This team's going to fight regardless. First quarter, the first player, the last play of the game, we're going to fight. And, the energy in the locker room is still that same way. They're still having a positive attitude, looking forward that, just trying to go 1-0 next week. And, that's the mindset every day, go 1-0 every day. And if you keep stacking days, that will help lead you to have success on Saturday.
You had over 100 yards rushing today. I think the last time you did that was when you were at Marshall. What was working for you, I guess, in that realm? And was that kind of by design, or was some of that just because that's what they gave you?
I think, my job play in and play out is just how can I make this play successful, whether that's taking my first read, getting off the first read, taking the second, third, fourth, or checking it down, or if nothing's open, extending plays. And, whether that's to extend and throw downfield or throw it to somebody on the run, or that's everybody singing in coverage and, me just trying to make a winning play and, get us some yards, trying to do whatever I can to, help the team, be successful. That's really just my mindset. Play in and play out is how can I make the play successful.
What did Cincinnati do differently than you had prepared for or saw on film from them?
I think they're just a great hard-working, gritty defense that keeps a lot of things in front of them. A lot of things that we expected. A couple of things that they adjusted to that we also adjusted as well. And I think if we just limit the self-inflicted wounds like we were just talking about, I think that'll help us complete some of those drives.
You were named starting quarterback coming out of camp. Didn't last long in the Jack State game until you got hit and had to leave. So is that frustrating, just knowing that you had the opportunity to be the starting quarterback and then you're sidelined for a while? Just talk us through that time period. I guess now you've gotten the ability to kind of show what you can do out there today.
I think, like I just said, it's just about controlling what you can control, and getting hit and getting injured, that's something you can't control. And you can't control if your body, you have a tweak or something. You just got to be able to move on and, control what the situation is next, and that was just getting recovery and getting my body back healthy to get ready to go, and just having a positive mindset and a positive attitude towards it all.
Down the field a little bit and put together those kind of plays.
I mean, it feels good as a unit, when you have, continuous successful plays. And I think that just takes, all 11 guys, having the correct alignment, assignment, and technique. And I think when you have 11 guys on the field, doing that. That's how you create successful plays. And I think that's what it was, not stopping ourselves with self-inflicted wounds like I was saying, and, just playing every play independent.
How do the stops and starts being in games, not being in games, impact your chemistry with the wide receivers?
One more time, sorry.
How does being in games and out of games because of injuries impact your chemistry with the wide receivers?
I think there was a lot of reps from spring ball, fall camp, where you get a lot of chemistry from those guys during, those, 8 months leading up to the season. So, you build that chemistry then, and it only builds throughout the season. But, when you're not in there, you got to still be able to take those mental reps, while other guys are in there and be able to see, how they react or how they adjust to this or how they react to that. I think that's the biggest thing is just, how can you attack the day whether or not you are the guy in there, just that's really it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of fight. I was very proud of the defense and how hard they were fighting, and especially being down all game. Obviously, it's not ideal, but yeah, the averages and the yards look good for us in some plays, but there's also some plays that just didn't go our way. Some plays that we had a coverage breakdown and things like that we can't have, and also it comes back down to turnovers, and you lose the turnover battle, you're likely to lose the game. So if we can flip that notch, it should be a lot better for us.
How frustrating is that for you guys? You're playing really well,
Yeah.
but you weren't able to get the takeaways like, that Coach Grinch has talked about over the last couple of weeks. How frustrating is that for you guys to be able to not maybe have to get the ball out?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's not ideal, but it's also more motivation for us to work even harder in practice this week coming up.
What was Coach Grinch's message at halftime? You held them to 3 points second half.
Yeah, just keep fighting. Same thing with Coach Frost. He was just saying keep fighting. Something's good going to come. Just keep fighting, keep flying around the ball, keep doing our jobs, and something will go our way eventually. Yeah.
How would you describe the fight you see from this team? That's 3 straight losses now. That should start to impact the locker room.
Yeah.
How would you assess
Yeah, to be honest with you, I love it. I love the fight. I feel like every single game we've lost, we've given ourselves a chance to win the game, and that's really what it's all about. Also, I think everyone's having fun. Everyone loves each other. Everyone's having a great time out there. Obviously, it's not ideal losing, but I just feel like we're right there, and we're one step away.
How do you feel like the front seven stepped up and kind of, limiting their run game? There's been some injuries on your end, kind of up
yeah.
front and everything else.
Yeah. We've been banged up up front all year, but I think people came in, stepped up, did the jobs they needed to do. But at the end of the day, it comes down to out physical your opponent. So I think we did a pretty good job of that today. There's a few plays that hit us which hurt, but yeah, that was good. Yeah, it's awesome to see the offense out there driving slowly, just keep going. Obviously you want them to get points, but you can't have everything at the end of the day. But yeah, we're sitting on the sideline, we're rooting all them on, we're praying for them. We all got each other's backs, and yeah, if we can finish those drives off, it should be pretty good for us. Yeah.
Back on turnovers, Coach Grinch earlier this week said you guys got to start creating more turnovers. What do you think is missing in the ability to do that?
Like I said earlier this week, I don't think anything's missing. I think it's just maybe a bounce ball going our way, maybe getting a hand on the ball. I got one out today on the quarterback and bounced right back to him. It just at the end of the day, things like that are just unlucky. I think once again, I think we're right there. I just think, like I said earlier, I think we need to just work harder in practice. Just keep fighting in practice. Strain in practice. You rep those turnover drills in practice and things like that. Eventually it'll come up in the game. So just keep pushing.
When you feel you're close like that, what hope does that give you over the second half of the season?
Oh yeah,
Breakthrough?
yeah. It's honestly more of a hope and an excitement. Be excited for turnover plays like that. They change the game, and like I said earlier, they win the game. So that excitement of the potentiality of those turnovers coming is just because it keeps us fighting. Yeah.
And you guys are obviously disappointed from today, but how important is next week going to be? You return home, you play West Virginia. That's a really important game to try to get a win in the Big 12.
Yeah, huge game next week. Just treat it like every other game, but like I said earlier, just keep fighting in practice, keep practicing harder, and keep doing our thing. I think the big game next week and get a win there be good for the rest of the season, the second half of the season coming up.
You got some road tests coming up after that. You're going to have to go to Baylor, and you've got Texas Tech, and then you've got BYU. What do you guys need to do on the road? This is an incredible environment here, but what do you guys need to do to maybe kind of be able to tune that out to be able to find a way to win one of these games on the road?
I think it's finding our own energy. These stadiums are they're loud. big fan of it. Coming from smaller ball, you don't really get the crowds like that. But yeah, I love it. I love the environments like that. I love walking in here and having everyone rooting against you. But then you got your guys. You got your guys on the sideline. You got your guys in your position group. You got your coaches. Everyone's got your back. You got the fans that travel, which is awesome. You see them behind our bench rooting us on. Yeah, just things like that. It's just what keeps us going. Yeah.
You talk about fight. Is there though an anger maybe building in the players that they're not satisfied with the results the way they've been over the last 3?
I wouldn't say an anger. I'd say more of a hunger. Just because we know how close we are. We know we're right there. I mean, you can take it back to Kansas State. Kansas State, we're a few plays away. Kansas, obviously, you get down to the inch-yard line, you want to get it in. We couldn't get it in, unfortunately. And today, I mean, a few missed coverages by the defense, and I mean, I missed a tackle where the guy had a 60-yard run, and the tight end had a yard run. It's just the small things that maybe changing the math of one play with our physicality and things like that. Yeah,
Drive you to do better this
yeah,
week?
definitely. Drive us to do better. Drive us to work a lot harder in practice as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's everyone's got each other's backs. I mean, the offense can go out there and have a 3-and-out every single drive, and we're still going to be rooting for them. And we can go out there and let up a touchdown every single drive, and they're going to be having our backs. So at the end of the day, we're a team. I love this team. I think everyone's really close, especially the way that the football is these days in the portal. I think that this team is a really tight-knit crew, and I'm excited for the second half of the season.
Coach Frost said that he wants you guys to get back to having fun again playing football.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's something maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks, maybe because of the losing streak, maybe you guys are a little bit focused on that, or do you think it's just trying to get you guys back to kind of brush it off and get on to the next game?
Yeah, I think it's kind of putting it behind us. Frost loved our fight today. Obviously, the whole program loved our fight, but it wasn't enough. So, yeah, just keep fighting. I think it really just keeps the chip on our shoulder for these games coming up. Yeah.
How important is it to protect home field?
Oh, I mean, I love playing at the bounce house. I love playing at home. We all love playing at home, so got to protect it as best as we can.